Hey, tell you what, lads, nearly Christmas. Nearly Christmas time already. Well, this is exciting, isn't it?
We've got to get through Halloween first.
Oh, yeah, I'll skip through that and a little bit of bonfire night and all that malarkey. But it's nearly Christmas. It must be like 3 weeks till Christmas, something like that.
Oh, please.
According to Tesco, it is by us.
Yay! Mince
It's
pies.
decked out.
I had my Christmas tree and someone, you're going to put it up yourself? And I said, no, I'll go put it in the living room.
Hey! Look at that. Now, that's the sort of quality of material you expect from this show. Absolutely top-notch stuff there, Martin. And I'll tell you about, talking about quality of material, what a night of jokes and music we have lined up for you tonight. It's very possible that Phil's going to pull out some of his best jokes as well. I'll tell you what, we'll do a joke per segment. Why don't we do that? Everybody has to prepare themselves, all that, including us.
I think of my best Gary Delaney jokes.
Perfect. There we go. Let's do that without
that we can
swear words.
broadcast without swear words.
Right, here we go. We have got an amazing set of music up again for you tonight. So, again, Martin, you've bookended things perfectly, as you always do. And we have a fantastic centre section. The spine of the book, as you said last time, Phil, quite rightly, again, is fantastic. But in the middle of the spine, we have another bookend. So we've got another piece in the middle, which is another relatively famous artist, as well as the ones that were bookended on either side. And then the rest of it is all from our community as well. It's amazing. And also, tonight, we've got our special interview with our very good friend from Old Colwyn, Jay Robinson, and his amazing remix. I'm not even going to go into all that now. And his amazing remix, official remix as well. It's astonishing. Of Old Colwyn. I was born and bred in Old Colwyn. Old Colwyn.
You were born in Old Colwyn?
Well, I wasn't born there, but, you know, close as. There we go. Anyway, let's move on. Right, okay, so we're going to kick off tonight with one of our bookenders. This is amazing. And I'm probably not going to pronounce this correctly. This is Autechre, theme of Sudden Roundabout. Wow, that was Autechre. What a way to start the show. That was amazing. I've not come across them before, but I did a little bit of looking up and I assumed they were like a Euro band, but they're not. They're from Rochdale.
Rochdale. It's hard being a cowboy in Rochdale, apparently.
The Rochdale Cowboy, yeah.
Basically, they are electronica bread and butter, and you've got to have a bit of Autechre in your life, I think.
Well, it did, and when I looked them up, it's not just EDM; it's IDM.
IDM.
Yeah. It's intelligent dance music that they create. Yeah. And talking about intelligent dance music, Phil, you've got the intelligent words that are always wrapped around everything that we do, and I'm sure you'll have written something amazing.
Yeah, come on,
but you're
Phil.
right on the spot now, because if you haven't done it and not done your homework, you can look like a right fool.
Well, I've put down here tootin', flutin', spring reverb, paddle slap beats in Donald Duck on Helium's crib. There's going to be something sudden roundabout now.
Look at that.
Well,
yeah, Phil, you have done some homework there.
Doesn't matter, but yeah, there was a good bit of the old spring reverb going on in the early parts of that tune. Some classic electronica, really good choice, Martin.
Yeah, thanks.
Superb, and it sounded a bit modular as well, didn't it? Again, it might be. Well, I'm glad you said that. I thought it might just be me again. But yeah, it did sound almost modular, so I wasn't sure whether there was a bit of modular in there. I watched a bit of a video of them online and I couldn't see anything that we're using in there as a modular. But
well, Jules, a decent modular setup usually has a decent spring reverb in it.
Oh, really?
To give it that splashy sound, yeah.
Well, then maybe for once I'm right.
I think there's a lot of sort of found sounds and Foley sort of sounds in there as well. I mean, from what I've heard of Autechre, I've actually, this is from an album I got last year. Yeah, I think the intelligent dance music is because it's something you can't actually find it difficult to dance to, but you would listen to in your lounge because it's intelligent.
Yeah. Actually, have you ever seen intelligent people dancing? If you go to the uni disco, does it all?
They've got no idea, have they? No idea. But it's an amazing piece of music that, and I've not come across Autechre before, and I will look at more of that up. That was a superb choice to start the evening off, Martin. Absolutely superb.
I've got a website because autechre.warp.net. I think Warp is the record label, but they're in the good company of like people like Aphex Twin, Future Sounds of London, and Balls of Canada. That we had on a couple of shows ago, I think. Yeah, but yeah, it's that sort of music, and it's a trippy, glitchy. Yeah, it's brilliant.
So right next up, we've got Timekode, and this is Deni from Timekode. Let's just kick straight into it. We'll have a chat about it on the other side. This is Never Understand Women Who Can.
Never understood women. understood women. Never. Another fabulous Timekode production.
Oh, that was Timekode. That was Never Understand Women Who Does. I've added that bit at the end, that isn't in the brackets after the song. Do you know what that sounded like to me? That sounded like something that Phil would make. That's what that sounded like to me.
Yeah. It's got that. Yeah. It's got a sort of disco sort of vibe to it, doesn't it?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
that's what I thought. Yeah. So Phil, because it sounds a bit like you, I bet you put some words around it which describe you fantastically.
Well, it's funny what Martin's just said, because I've put zipping 80s chords, brackets brown ones, worn by the bloke from Fargo that never understood women. Well, enter the disco and learn, dude. That's what I've thought about that.
Basically, it describes you. Yep.
Yeah. And it's got the disco thing there.
And I bet you've got those brown chords on tonight as well, haven't you?
Yeah, well, yeah. I haven't actually got any brown chords, but I'm thinking of getting some. I might start a trend round here.
I thought you were going to say that you hadn't had any trousers on then for a second. So I'm glad you finished that sentence in the way I was.
I think he's probably wearing a rah-rah skirt underneath that.
Could very well be. But that was a fantastic piece of music, that, Martin. Where did we have those from?
Well, Deni, she's quite mysterious, but her website is quite interesting. It's got that sort of old website feel to it, but it's amazing. Yeah, there's a clip of her on the Tube when she was in a band called let's get it right, Le Lulus, I think it was called. So there's a clip of her back in sort of the mid 80s in this band, I think, and she has done quite a lot in the time, and she's old. I think the band supported New Order at the Royal Albert Hall, and also wrote some music for a space. I haven't found out what the Space Age TV soap opera was, but perhaps she's wrote music for that, and she's appeared on The Archers.
Blimey, Charlie.
Yeah,
there's
a lot to Deni, I think the production was fantastic. Timekode.co.uk if you need to go to look up her website.
Good stuff. Yeah, fantastic find, and we'll definitely have a little bit of a listen more to that. What we've also got to remember, lads, as well, is that we're supposed to be sticking a joke in between each song. I'd forgotten about that on the previous one. I'll stick you one in for this one before we jump into the next one. So I had a very hot curry the other night, and in the morning I had a very sore bottom. My wife said, "Ring Sting." I said, "Why? What's he going to do?" Anyway. Ring Sting, you see, Ring Sting.
Yeah. My girlfriend's dog died, so she was really devastated. I thought, what I'll do, I get an identical dog. She was livid. So what am I going to do with two dead dogs?
It's worse than mine. Right, I tell you what. Let's jump into a song quickly. See if Phil can think of anything better for the next one. Right, here we go. This is, I probably can pronounce this incorrectly as well. This is Drusnoise, Kisses from the Past.
Kisses from the past. Dreams across your mind and invisible wires. Kisses from the past. Dreams across your mind and invisible wires. Kisses from the past. Dreams
That was Drusnoise. Wow, what? Now that I literally wrote down whilst I was listening to that. This is like something I wish I could make because of that big, thick kick that was in there. That little tickling hi-hat that was in there. The percussion was just superb throughout.
Yeah, it was thumping, wasn't it?
It really was amazing. Come on, Phil, you'll have written amazing words around this as always.
So there, just about what you've said, I've sort of put rubberized bass drum tames the itchy, scratchy percussion. A darkened angel delivers the lines and the dubious memories to the distant swamp monster.
Oh, well,
Oh,
yeah. It's very hard to follow what you're saying, really, sometimes.
Yeah. But if you read it as you listen, it'll all come to you. It'll all come to you.
I'm sure it will. I
do
don't
a special
doubt
mix with your words then.
Yeah. Actually, now wouldn't that be great? Just Phil talking his words with a bit of music underneath.
With
be
Drusnoise.
like William Shatner, one of his records.
Yeah, Shatner. Yeah,
And,
on a load of Shatner.
what a load of Shatner! Have you heard his where he does his talking over the top? They're classic. They're absolute classic.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And he went up to space last week. I bet he shat his pants there. Anyway, however,
that's a joke done then.
Yeah. What's about you? No, I won't say that. No.
Oh dear me. So where have we had
William Shatner? Yeah.
So what?
Drusnoise is Steve Williams. He's based in Berlin because obviously there's a big electronica scene in Berlin, I believe. He's originally from Canada. So he's part of the sort of electronic scenes in the mid-90s in Toronto, London and Berlin. So using analog modular synths with digital effects.
Yeah, superb dance tune there as well, though. Just a great piece of music all around. I said the percussion throughout that was just astonishing. Really was just brilliant. Right, okay, we'll move on. We've done the joke and everything, so we're ready. So we're going to move on now to we've got Gazz Collins, this Defunked. Gazz Collins, Defunked. Do you know what? From the name and the title of the song, that was not what I was expecting at all, but it was a very, very pleasant surprise. That really was. That was just such a gentle piece of music and a really nice groove that went throughout it as well. That was just lovely. Martin, where did you get that from?
Well, I'm in communication with Gazz because he does a radio show called Future Beautiful Radio. It's called, and he plays a lot of sort of 80s vibe stuff.
Yeah.
So he's influenced from various electronic bands and artists, and you obviously can hear that, and goth bands as well apparently. And he's also got a project called the Fragile Echo. Aimed at darker orientated sounds with more vocals. So that's how I've got to know Gazz.
Was that a lead guitar in there, or was that a synth pretending to be a lead guitar in there?
Yeah, it could be. I'm not sure. Yeah.
I'm
not sure he plays guitar, but yeah. But yeah, it's got a real sort of 80s funk feel. I was thinking like someone like Shack Attack, something like that.
Shack Attack.
Yeah.
That's how you have to say Shack Attack. Shack Attack. And it was so, Phil, I'm sure you've put some magnificent words around this as you always do.
Yeah, and going with the 80s and the Shack Attack thing, I put traditional disco grooves beckon you to a secluded corner where a salacious lady twerks her magic.
Ooh.
Private dancer,
Twerking.
wild romancer.
Ooh, good evening.
Does my bum look big in this?
Yeah, evening.
Hey, have you heard that? This is my joke, by the way. The
right.
BBC, the BBC have they're doing a new version of new dance show where everybody just shows off their twerking. Do you know what it's called? Strictly Bum Dancing.
Hey!
Bum bum.
Mine sticks a bum in there. It's perfect.
Bum bum. Yeah.
Oh my life! It's going to be a long show.
You were laughing before the end of the joke, Phil. You're laughing at your own jokes.
That's what the kids always say. I have to laugh at my own jokes in this house. No bugger else does.
Yeah, exactly right. I tell you what. Oh, let's give everybody a break. Let's have a song. Right, okay. Tell you what. Let's go into. We're into Matt Watkins' Close Encounter. This is lovely. Here we go.
Matt Watkins here. You are listening to PULS8 Radio.
That was Matt Watkins' Close Encounter. What a lovely piece of music that was. That actually did
Oh,
feel like a close
beautiful.
encounter in a small wooded glade. And I know one of you's had one of those before, but you've got an electronic tag for it now, haven't you, Phil?
Yeah. By the way, did you hear about the magic tractor? Went down the lane and turned into a field.
Hey!
Hey! I used to like tractors, but now I'm an ex-tractor fan.
I'm on the
Hey!
road.
That was lined up.
Oh, this used to be a music show. Yeah.
Anyway,
Oh, dear. Are we going to get through this show or not?
Jeepers creepers. Go on, Phil. Give us a bit of something.
right. So this is the Matt Watkins track.
It is.
If everything is ready here on the dark side of the moon, play the 5 tones. The instruction echoed amongst the natural craggy amphitheatre near the summit of Devil's Tower under a pitch-dark Wyoming sky.
Holy guacamole.
That's the start of Close Encounters.
Oh.
Is he really?
Yeah, or the bit where they're in
Oh, the Wyoming. Oh, yeah. I
Yeah.
see
Oh,
what we
Devil's
did
Tower.
there.
Yeah,
before he gets his hand in his mashed potato.
that's it, yeah.
Where have we had this mashed potato from, Martin?
Well, we had Matt Watkins on a few shows back,
Did
and
we?
he had a great song on there. He's a very accomplished musician.
Yeah.
It's fantastic melodies, orchestrated well. I heard sort of Jean-Michel Jarre, like an Ulrich Schnauz. It's a really, and the synth solo is brilliant. And I'm not like we said about the last track. It's like a synth solo followed by, I think, like a guitar.
Yeah.
Which sounded quite Moody Blues to me. The guitar, I'm not sure it was virtual. It probably was real actually, because I think he's a guitarist as well.
Right.
But yeah, this track is to coincide with. I think his album has just come out actually, called Close Encounter. It's
Okay.
now available on Bandcamp. So if you liked Matt Watkins before his other track as well, which I do, it's really great. Then well worth having a listen on Bandcamp.
Yeah, that was superb. Really was lovely, that.
Yeah.
So let's move on to another song before Martin pops another joke out quickly. So this is Digital Man, Pie.
This is Digital Man, and you are listening to Pulse8 Radio.
that was Digital Man Pie. Do you know what? I was in the police station the other day and I said to the policeman, I said, I'm not saying anything without my solicitor present. And he said, you are a solicitor. I said, I know. Where's my present?
You see, you're laughing at your own jokes now.
Come on! Oh, dearie me. So that was Pie. That was a great song. That really was very good indeed. That had a kind of a xylophone feel to the lead on that. I don't know whether it was just me or anybody else. Phil, what did you think?
Well, I wrote here, more please, sir. More boy. More boy. Please, sir. Well, I suppose it is exceedingly good pie.
Oh, hey, oh, yeah, well done, you. Yeah, I can see what you've done there. And at
Yeah,
1
got a
minute
bit
50,
dramatic today.
you have got a bit dramatic today, yeah, with your jokes and your theatre and your general poetry. It's all very good, Phil. It's all very good indeed. This is what people tune in for this sort of quality of content.
Now, my girlfriend keeps on asking me to have sex with her with a key ring, but she keeps on fobbing me off.
That's a good one, actually. That.
Oh, dear me, that is actually averagely amusing.
Fobbing me off.
Anyway, 1 minute 52 in there. There was a drop, and then there was almost an orchestral change in the whole song within that. It was like a different song came into the whole thing, and then it kind of melded back into itself again as it went through.
This track to me is quite close to home, shall I say, because I've never actually heard anybody write a song which is actually similar to mine. I'm not talking about plagiarism, but when I communicated, I thought, hang on a minute. I think I posted a song to you guys, one of my original songs I did about 10 years ago. It's called Hand Across the Mountains. Now, what Digital Man has done is actually used some samples from a program called Magic's Music Maker. And there are 3 samples which I used on my track. And it's just amazing coincidence. And I thought, because you can hear that right at the beginning of that, you can hear like a xylophone. And then at the end, you got this arpeggiated, which I call a tangerine dreamish sort of arpeggiator, and there's strings in there, and there's 3 samples there I used in my track 10 years ago.
Oh wow!
Yeah, it's just amazing. And so, but his track is completely different in another way. But also, I recognize these samples, but his track is slower than mine. Mine's a lot faster. So it's just crazy when you sort of, hang on a minute, that sounds like mine. But you know, I'm based in the UK and he's based in the US. We've never communicated until this point. It's amazing.
That is amazing.
That is amazing. Yeah.
It had a bit of. Was it just me? It could be. It had a bit of a Jean-Michel Jarre feel to the whole thing as well, a little bit.
Yeah, that's with that. The last bit coming in is obviously that arpeggiated piece is when I first heard it, I thought it sounded a bit like Tangerine Dream.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was Jean-Michel Jarre as well. Yeah.
Brilliant. It's a superb piece of music though. So if we want to listen to more Digital Man, where can we find that?
He's got his own website. I think when I went to it, I couldn't. I think it was down on, but hopefully it's back up. It's digitalmanmusic.com.
Okay, digitalmanmusic.com. Have a listen to more of that.
And Spotify.
Right, okay, so let's move on to the next song. Right, okay, so we've now got, this is great. This is Harold Budd. This is Sandtreader. That was Harold Budd. That was Sandtreader. What an amazing piece of music. Oh, do you know what? Said my wife this morning, I said, I'm giving my job at the sewage plant. And she said, why is that? And I said, well, it just feels like I'm going through the motions each day.
Hey.
Hey. Yeah,
Brilliant.
Just me. Right. Anyway, it was a great piece of music. And again, that was like a beautiful, gentle soundscape that just kind of flowed over you. It was just a lovely, lovely piece of music. That, come on, Phil, wasn't it? Eh?
Yeah.
Hey.
Well, just because it's got that flowing over your feel, it reminded me of a certain tune, and so I've plagiarised this time. I've plagiarised. So, Spider and I sit watching the sky on a world without sound. We sleep in the morning. We dream of a ship that sails away 1,000 miles away. Brian Eno, Spider
I'm glad
and
you
I.
said that, because I wouldn't have known where it was from, to be quite honest. So yeah. That, but
Brian Eno, because it reminded me of it got a Brian Eno feel to it.
Yeah.
Of his more mellow stuff. So
yeah,
I thought I'd got that feeling, the Spider and I feeling.
Harold Budd is like he is one of the electronic godfathers or grandfathers or whatever. He passed away last year, 84.
Right.
So this track is in the 80s. It was made in the 80s. But he's up there with Brian Eno. He's Mr. Ambient. Beautiful music, and he's collaborated with Brian Eno, John Fox, Steve Reich, Philip Glass, compared with Steve Reich and Philip Glass. I think he's also he's worked with Robin Guthrie of the Cocteau Twins as well.
Okay. Blimey.
Gosh, so I know why I tuned into the Brian Eno thing then.
Well, that's it.
That's right.
So I'm sure he's influenced. They're all influenced by each other, and that's that generation as well. But I think he died of. I think he caught COVID, unfortunately, and it's a great loss.
Lighten things up a little bit, Martin. Could you just show us your arms again?
Oh yeah.
What?
Yeah, the Halloween show is not this episode, it's the next episode. If you can take that hairy suit off and then pop it back on for the next one when you want to be a werewolf, that'll be fine. Okay, all right.
I filled the escort with Diesel. She died.
Hey!
I used to think I was a werewolf, but I'm all right now.
Christ, we get a song on quick. Oh, yeah. Right. Okay.
Anyway.
Next up, we've got Stopyral. I hope I pronounced that correctly. This is Beyond Mariana. That was Stopyral, Beyond Mariana. It's just one after another on here tonight. It really is. That's absolutely amazing. Do you know what I did the other week, though? I joined the gym and I said to the gym instructor, "Can you teach me how to do the splits?" And he said, "How flexible are you?" I said, "Well, I can't do Tuesdays or Thursdays." Anyway, Tuesdays or Thursdays. How flexible are you? Bloody hell. But anyway, that was amazing. Do you know what? There was a heartbeat throughout that, and I'm sure it was supposed to sound like a heartbeat as well, but there was a heartbeat through that. But the rest of the song, as you listen to the heartbeat, just felt like it flowed like a journey through your body. It was just amazing. And it didn't stop off at the gout stop either. It just carried on going around and around and around. It was just lovely, that. It really was. Yeah, Phil, come on, Phil. Stick your proper words around it for us, would you?
I wrote, "Step in time, boys," said the music teacher as she waved the various sections of the beautiful electronic orchestra. The boy continued unfazed by the gremlins and their tricks.
Oh,
I'm guessing there was a few gremlin-y bits later on, but I remember it build up like an orchestrated, synthesizer orchestrated thing to it. So.
There was a bit of a change in there. Actually, it felt like he was like a submarine being immersed into the Mariana Straits. It really felt like it was changing, and you can imagine it, couldn't you?
Well, I did wonder whether the Mariana bit was something about the Mariana Trench or not. But yeah.
Well, I thought so. That's why I assumed. Yeah.
Well, unless his wife's coming back, you never know, or his ex-wife.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because it was beyond. Anyway.
Yeah.
Do go on, Martin.
So you can get Stopyral is Gary Stoppard.
Right.
I think it's from Derbyshire. His soundcloud.com/Gary-Stoppard. Yeah, and hopefully we'll hear a few more for his tracks in the future. Again, another Jean-Michel Jarre reference, bit of some arps there.
Again, a superb piece of music. Really enjoyed it. And thanks very much. Was that a send-in? I think it was, Martin. I think that was a send-in, wasn't it? Yeah. So if you do want to send any music, please do. It's PULS8RADIO. That's with a number 8 in the middle of it at gmail.com. So that's PULS8RADIO at gmail.com. Send it through. We'll have a listen. At some point, we will play. There is a bit of a backlog, but eventually it will get played. So please do send some stuff through. So I don't know if you guys can remember the mantra. Let's try and do it all together. It's Tentacles, Testicles, Wallet and Watch. It is the amazing Dr. Tentacles. He's back with £1,000 gorilla attack.
Hello, this is the amazing Dr. Tentacles, and apparently I am in a labyrinth. You're listening to PULS8 Radio. Jolly good!
That was the usual quality from the doctor. You can always guarantee a bit of quality from the doctor. And then at 1 minute 46, the doctor started applying his medicine. There was a big, big change there. What a great piece of music. That really was superb.
I mean, it could be for the Halloween show because, again, the JC word, John Carpenter-ish, Halloween sort of vibes. Really, it could be. But we got one for Halloween from it anyway.
We have.
But,
to be honest with you, pretty much anything the Amazing Dr. Tentacles does could be on the Halloween one. Really,
could be.
Yeah. He's superb, isn't he?
He is amazing. I bet you put some tentaclish words around this and wrapped them all around it, Phil, haven't you?
Well, yes, because I've started. Don't be fooled by its pixie-ish entrance. This mofo is a 453.6 kilograms of muscle-bound primate stomping fodder. A King Kong kind of song gone wrong.
That's superb, and we're hoping.
Actually,
I could have. Yeah,
I do have a joke with the gorillas in mind, but it's a bit rude.
Oh God.
Do we have to bleep it?
How rude is it?
Yeah. Well, I went to the zoo and I saw the gorillas. Then I went to see the elephants. I was still wanking. You can edit that bit out, can't you?
Oh dear me! There's a special Martin edit over the top of that one. Martin's joke book. It's martinsjokebook.com. If you want more jokes like that, just go to martinsjokebook.com. And he's
all
there.
It from Gary Delaney.
He's there all week, sadly. Yeah. I've no idea where we are now. Oh, Dr. Tentacles. But it was the usual quality from the doctor. And thank you very much indeed, Doctor. We're hoping maybe to persuade the doctor to do an interview with us in the next few weeks because he is an absolute gent and a genius. Yeah. So it would be great to have a chat with him all the way from deepest, darkest Texas. So we'll see. We'll see if we can do that. Do you know what it is now? It's Martin's Monster. It is, and it's a special Martin's Monster this week. Why is that, Martin?
I don't think she knows about it yet. But she will.
Well, shall I tell her then? Right, so it's a bit. It can't be a bit of nepotism. It's Martin's partner, Marianne Holland. But to be fair, it is a monster, Martin. It is an absolute belter. It really is.
Lovely song.
It is a lovely song. Let's have a listen to it. We'll have a chat on the other side. So this is Marianne Holland. This is The Cage of Everyone.
The cage of everyone. There's no one to hear you. The future we had was gone. Trapped like a bird locked in a cage. Wasted years and full of rage. Illusion, delusion in the cage of everyone.
This is Marianne Holland. Thank you very much for playing my music and supporting me. You are listening to Pulse8 Radio.
Wow, Martin, I can see why you chose that as Martin's monster. That was Martin's partner, Marianne Holland, The Cage of Everyone. That was just amazing. Some of the percussion in there was a little bit drum and bass, I thought.
Oh, yeah. That's what I like about this track. You know, it evolves and it goes drum and bass, goes dubstep, drum and bass. You know, so it changes genre. That's what she does. You know, you can't define what Marianne writes.
It's an amazing piece of music. You two are frozen. Nobody, you don't know that. Everybody else will be able to see that. It's fine. We can still see it, or we can hear you. It doesn't matter. Don't worry about it. It's just you had frozen faces. Okay. But you know, I liked it because it was nice not to see your animation for a while. But anyway, it was an amazing piece of music, though. And Marianne has always got a wonderful voice because she is just an amazing singer. And she does have that. She will hate us saying this. She does have that Kate Bush-esque, she is a little bit, just a little bit in there. But it is, Martin, it is. It sure is. I tell you what, let's get out of this hole quickly. Yeah. Phil will do that for us. I know he will.
Yes. Aha, said the DJ before the enchanting songstress delivered a warning of internal torment. A caped therapist jumps on the Mini Moog on a mission to soothe the maiden's brow. Did he succeed? To be continued. That's focusing in on the lyrics there a bit as well.
That shows you actually listen to it, Phil, as well, which is a good thing.
I think the title's to do with. I think the title's to do with. It's a lockdown song, and it's about us being in all of us being in lockdown. I think that was the essence of the song.
Oh, it's a wonderful piece of music, though. So, how does she compose all that? Is that all composed on software, or is that hardware as well?
No, it's all on the door on Cakewalk. Yeah, so it's all virtual instruments. Obviously, apart from her voice. So, and I think there was a bit of manipulation of using some Vox effects as well. So that was
that's amazing. So, where can we hear more of Marianne's stuff then?
Marianne Holland at bandcamp.com.
Bandcamp, of course.
My mate Dave died. He drowned. So we got him a wreath in the shape of a life belt. Wow, that's what he would have wanted.
What time is the show?
Delivery was amazing.
It was. Yeah. Have we got another hour of this? Have we? Bloody hell! Christ! I tell you, if we're not fed up with this, the listeners are. I certainly say, Christ! Bloody hell! Let's move on quick. Right. So next up, we've got. Oh, now this is something super special. This really is. This is our friend from Old Colwyn down the road. Yeah. Jay Robinson remix of Jason Derulo, Acapulco, and I think this is literally just being released now as well. This is an official remix as well. Have a listen to this. This is astonishing.
Yeah.
That was Jay Robinson and his remix of the Jason Derulo song Acapulco. That was just amazing. So that's our man from Old Holland with their man from Florida mixing it down with an official remix.
Jason Derulo is obviously a massive star out there, and I'd like to ask him actually how he gets to get these contacts, because it's just amazing. Because obviously, he had
Idris Elba. Well, I'll tell you what, Martin. If you're interested in asking that question, why don't we ask him now? Well, we've just had a great listen to that song. What an amazing piece of music that was. And now, yes, we're joined by Jay Robinson, DJ, producer, remixer, just down the road from me in Old Colwyn. I'm up here in Rows-on-Sea. Oh, exactly, Martin. Isn't this an extraordinary coincidence? Jay, how are you?
Hello, I'm all right. What an introduction.
Well, it's nice having a superstar on your doorstep, really.
I know. Who's he? Where's that?
I thought you talk about me there.
No, it's not you, Martin. It's not you. No. But no, it's great to have you on, Jay. It really is fantastic. And thanks very much for doing it. And you've had an amazing career to date already. And things are really, really starting to go a bit stratospheric for you at the moment. So if we just sort of rewind back in time a little bit, if that's all right. So you started doing all this stuff, 15 years ago, 20 years ago?
Nearly 20 years ago. Jesus, I was 15.
Wow.
It was all pretty much, it was two friends of mine in school had turntables, and I'd always done musical instruments, and I always got bored of them because it was, you play the cornet, you can only walk down.
So the cornet or the recorder, wasn't it?
Yeah. Well, it was the cornet, the violin, guitar. It was all just I just got bored quickly, and then as soon as I saw turntables, I thought, oh, look, that's something I can get interested in. So I got into turntables, and it was just messing around, And then I think.
So did you do technology at college or school or uni?
I did music. I think when I was 17, I dropped out. I knew it was what I wanted to do. When I was 17, I dropped out of sixth form, much to much
your parents' delight. Yeah.
And I thought I was already tinkering around with making music and stuff. So I thought I'll try the local college and do music technology. See what happens, at least I'll have a qualification in it then. And obviously that didn't really pan out. Basically, we started using production software, and it quickly got to the point where me and a friend of mine, we were basically ahead of the tutor. Right. So it was like, there's not really
oh dear.
So basically we thought what we'll do is just leave, work a job and then do the music as well. So at least we're earning some money, and then, we're learning how to do music, and obviously you could buy bits of gear and stuff. And then I think when I hit 19, I had an opportunity to go and live in Spain to be a resident DJ in a club there.
Oh, wow.
So I went and did that for 6-7 months. And that was where I really, I had already done gigs and stuff before that, but that was like the, where you kind of practiced playing live a lot.
Yeah.
And then making music was always there. And then I never really got anywhere with making music till probably like 2 or 3 years later. I'll be honest with you, it's been probably until the past 2 years. I've not been happy with anything I've made until then.
Really?
And it's funny because when I listen back to the older stuff, even 3 years ago, I think, oh no, that's terrible. There's so many things wrong with it,
But when you're so close to it, though, Jay, that's the thing, isn't it? It's like with anybody. I wouldn't dare to compare my music with yours, but with anybody, when you're so close to that music, you'll always hear the flaws in it, but nobody else does.
Yeah. It's probably a large part of it, but then at the same time,
it's always the way.
Yeah, it is. I think you have to be. Being an artist of anything, creating anything is a real battle with basically the peaks and troughs of thinking, wow, I'm great at this. This is really good, and I can make something really good. And then the next day being, I am awful. I should probably give up and just sell everything. And that is genuinely how it makes you feel. Well, it does me anyway. Days just back the wall.
So what was your first break into actually starting to make music rather than just playing music?
It's hard to put I got signed to a label it was probably one of the first tracks I'd ever properly finished
Yeah.
And I just thought, start demoing. It was in the days of MySpace. And I happened to just get signed to a label. I think they're in New York now. It was only just some fella running a label.
Yeah.
I can't even remember what it was now. But basically, it just kind of kept going from there. And then in my early 20s, like 23, 24 to mid 20s, I was getting quite a few gigs abroad. I was going around Europe and stuff, and it was going well. And then I kind of hit this wall where I was making things like dubstep and big room stuff, and none of it was really me. And I kind of felt like I lost my way. The gigs stopped coming. I went and got a job, like a proper full-time job. Before that, I was clinging on to being a musician, just, making bits of cash here and there, living in my parents' house. And then obviously I met Laura, my partner, who I've been with for 10 years now. And it got to the point, 11 years actually, we got to the point where we wanted to move out and stuff. So I got a job, and music kind of fell by the wayside. It was, I was still doing it, and I was still releasing music, I think. And basically, we'll probably get onto this after, but a massive opportunity came my way for me to get out of working a job, and I haven't been in a job since, which is...
Well, that's tempted us right onto that then, isn't it? So what was that opportunity that came your way then?
So it's quite convoluted, so bear with me. Basically, there's a fella called Chris Lake, and I think, I don't know how many people who will listen to this will know who he is. Anyway, Chris Lake is probably one of the, if not the biggest house producer in the world at the minute. And he has, he's been pretty high up for years. So I bumped into someone in the Pen of Bryn in Colwyn Heights.
Right.
On a Christmas Eve. I was really drunk, called James, also called James Wade. And I hadn't seen him for years, and I used to skate with him when I was a teenager. And, we got talking. And he mentioned, he was saying, how's the DJing going? So, just trying to get myself out there. And he said, I work for a company called Rising Digital, which is owned by Chris Lake.
Right.
And just by a total random stroke of luck, I said, I'd like to send him some music. He said, okay, send it to me, and I'll send it to him. So I did. Chris got back to me, said he really liked it. And then, I kept sending him music and stuff. And that was that. A few years later, a friend, now he's probably my best friend. He's my manager, closest ally, Mickey. Just out of the blue, I got speaking to him, and he was quite a big DJ in his own right, Mickey Slim. And so Mickey wanted to get into management because he's got a young family and stuff, and the touring life wasn't doing it for him anymore. So he said, I want to get into management. Would I be interested in trying to work together? So I obviously jumped at the chance. Then he is really good friends with a man called Dean Wilson. And Dean Wilson is one of these people in the industry who is, everybody knows Dean Wilson. He's Deadmau5's manager.
Right.
So
okay.
Started a venture with Dean Wilson. And obviously when Dean started listening to my music and stuff, I made a track called 1981. And that was actually with my 303 that Laura got me for Christmas.
Right.
It was the first track I'd ever made with it. We thought, well, we'll send it to Dean, see what he thinks. He played it to the team at Mousetrap. They signed it straight away. So I was obviously over the moon at being signed by Mousetrap. Then obviously they started to see some potential in me. And Dean said, why is he... I was working in a factory. I'm not going to mention which one, but it's the only one, big one around here. Yeah. So they basically said, how about we match, we'll get you out of there. We'll invest in you. We'll match what you're earning. We'll get you out, basically invest in you. So, I think that was 2018. Yeah, 2018. And they basically got me out of work, got me moving. I had my USB. It just, the gigs then started picking up. I played all the support for Deadmau5's shows across America. I did quite a few in Britain. I did Warehouse Project, Printworks. It was a good opportunity.
That's phenomenal, isn't it? I mean, again, we interviewed Dominic Holken a little while back. We also interviewed Chris Payne, and both of them said exactly the same thing. It's like these sliding doors moments where you just get this unusual opportunity that comes across your path. You've got to have the talent there in the first place, but all of a sudden this opportunity just suddenly steps across you, and you've got to grab it when it's there and think, right, well, this could be it. And sometimes it just is. That's life, isn't it? That's just... It's all just random. That's why any of us exist. It's just random chance. Everything's just exactly as it happens, and there's no real reason for it. It's just, I'm really lucky. I owe everything to Mickey, and I owe everything to Dean. I think that was when, like I said, I was really unhappy. Not really unhappy, but I was unhappy with the stuff I was making. Yeah. And that came at a time where it was like, all of a sudden, I was gifted financial security and a period of time before I actually started traveling. I had like 6 months where
all I did was sit in here
all
day, every day. Laura went to work, so at 8 o'clock in the morning, I'd come straight in here, 5 o'clock back in the house. Before that, I was working shifts. So I'd finish work at 11 o'clock at night. I'd go and do music till 3, 4 in the morning, get up at 7 with Laura, do it again till 1 o'clock, go back to work. And that was my life for years. So as soon as I was, there was never, the problem with that was there was never time for experimentation. There was never really time for learning or anything. It was like, you've got something to do, you get in the studio, you do it, that's it.
Yeah.
So I think I've actually learned a lot of discipline from that. Like I can quite easily focus on what it is I need to do, get in the studio, I'll do it and I'll get out and that's it. Yeah. But I never really had that time to focus on my craft, and find a method of making things sound like me properly. And that's what that time gave me. And then even more so during the pandemic. During the pandemic, I feel like I've reached a point now where I am fully happy with my ability to make music. Maybe not necessarily write the most amazing music, but I know I can produce a song that will stand along, stand along with the rest of them.
Well, you're pretty handy, I've got to say, and the stuff you produced during the pandemic was amazing. I'm assuming that the Idris Elba track that you did, that was during the pandemic that you actually did that, because that was released during then, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was, but actually I actually made the first idea of that while I was still working a job.
Oh, really?
So when basically I was helping out a friend. I don't know if I should mention his name. Anyway, I was helping out a friend, and he had this a cappella that had Idris Elba on it from years ago, and it was just like a rap song. So there's like this Idris Elba rap song, and I got sent it and said, "Do you think there's anything you could do with the production? In mind of using it for this other guy, not for, helping him basically make it something better because it had his vocals on it as well." And I was, playing around with it and didn't really get anything going, but there was just this one section of vocal that was like, what you need to do is be you. So I was like, right, I cut that out and thought I'm going to try and let's just do something with it and see what happens. So I made the track, and then I was touring quite a lot and playing out touring and stuff. And then my manager, Mickey, actually knows Idris's manager. So he did a Mousetrap basically said, we're really keen on this. So if we can get it moving, let's try and get it moving. Yeah. I thought, it's worth a try, but it's never going to happen. So then they sent it. Idris had been playing my music before that, DJing and stuff. So I think he knew.
Oh, because he's a DJ.
Yeah. So he knew who I was. Yeah. And then it just basically, he said he loved it. We managed to get a deal in place. Then the pandemic happened. So before that, I was thinking, it'd be a really good opportunity. We'd go out and get some gigs, me and Idris Elba doing stuff together. Yeah. It didn't happen. But then, it opened the door, and, I've spoken to Idris quite a bit now, and he's a really nice bloke. And just, a weird one. Like, it just taking a little sample from something I wasn't really supposed to sample, And my friend who wrote the music, I can't ever thank him enough, amazing.
And it is an amazing track. So if anybody hasn't heard it so far, it is called Know Yourself, isn't it? Jay Robinson featuring Idris Elba, and it is just superb. So again, with most of your music, Jay, where's the best place for people to go and find it? Is it SoundCloud or is it Spotify?
The best. Yeah, I don't really like the way they, pay people, but SoundCloud. I'm going to publicly say this: SoundCloud is awful. It's one of the worst platforms I've ever used.
SoundCloud.
Really. I upload something to SoundCloud and it instantly takes it down for copyright, even though it's my song.
Really?
I just can't fathom how that works.
I was involved with the early days of SoundCloud when it was more like a music community where people used to share stuff, and collaborate, and they made it too corporate. So I left SoundCloud.
It used to be a really good platform. Like you said,
indeed.
Great sharing music. Really,
absolutely.
You can listen to a song. It's terrible now,
yeah, it is awful. Yeah,
it's a shame because it was well, anyway, it doesn't matter.
Never mind.
It's all right. They'll sue you, Martin. Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And you, when you quite early in your career as well, you managed to get yourself on Radio 1 as well, didn't you? On the Annie Nightingale show. So how did you manage to get yourself on there?
That's a funny story. So I basically I guessed her email address and got it right.
Really?
That's a good one.
Yeah, I basically just guessed the email, sent some music. She liked it, said they had a slot open for a mix. Would I like to do it? I was just like, yeah. So I turned it around in, 3 or 4 days, and that was that. Just blagging it, you
know. Well, sometimes that's what you got to do, isn't it? You just got to chance your arm, give it a go, and you never know what might happen.
The main rule is there are no rules. Just do whatever it takes, and
exactly.
Out and get it.
Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. So what? I mean, you're sitting inside your studio there as well. Can you just give us a very brief tour of your studio and just show us what you're using on a daily basis to actually produce and make music?
Yeah, I don't want to pick this up just in case it disconnects. There's like Martin's old DX synth that I bought off him here.
That's how we met. You just came around and said, yeah.
That was just before everything ended, yeah.
It's still working good.
Of course it is. I've got that. I've got an Ovation K station, which I've had since, bloody hell. I've had that 10 years now, maybe more. That was the first piece of hardware I ever got.
Yeah.
A Moog Sub Fatty, an ARP Odyssey behind you. And then over here.
Oh, an ARP Odyssey.
Yeah. Great synth. I've got.
Yeah.
I use Cubase, so I've got a Steinberg UR824.
I was going to ask you the software. Yeah. So you got Cubase. Yeah.
And then I've got one of my secret weapons, which is an Aphex 104 oral exciter, which I never see anyone using. It cost me virtually, I think it was 60 quid, 70 quid.
Really?
This is how I've accumulated all this stuff, just managed to get things cheap on Facebook Marketplace or whatever. But it's just like it just adds, you can get a software version. I think there's a Waves version.
Right.
It's just oral exciter. All it does is just adds a little top end to things, brightens them up. I've got a 166XL DBX compressor. Then I've got a Fostex 3070 compressor, which I use as like a parallel chain to go. Basically, I just run I like running vocals through it. And then I've got a Clark Technic EQ PKT, pair of those, which is like the old, like the Pultec EQs?
Yeah. Yeah.
They're basically, a rip off of the Pultec EQs. They sound great. I've got a Juno 106 behind me over there, which is my favorite synth. Then below you, I've actually got a rack unit, which is Elise's Quad Reverb. Then I've got two Behringer outboard things, which people frown upon Behringer. I got these. I got them for £20.
Really?
They're just multi-band.
They do good kit, Behringer. Yeah, they do some really good kit, and and it's reasonably priced. Even brand new, they're reasonably priced.
Yeah.
Whatever you get.
And then I've got a Patch Bay, and then below that my Korg MS2000R, which I actually bought from a man in Colwyn Bay.
Right.
I've always actually Behringer. I got from where did I get that from? Landino Junction. I got the MS2000R from Colwyn Bay. I got the Fostex compressor from Rill. What else have I got? I think that's it. And obviously the DX that I got from you, Martin.
From Kumagla.
Yeah.
And I used to have a Moog Sub Fatty. It's just a beautiful, beautiful sound to that piece of equipment. It's just awesome. It's a lovely piece of
that was my first ever paycheck from my proper job. That was what I bought.
Oh, really? And it's the thing I love. I mean, it sounds amazing, but it looks amazing. It's just a proper, lovely, big, chunky piece of hardware. It's gorgeous. It really is. It's brilliant.
Properly solid, really well built.
It is. So, and again, now we're just moving right into modern day, and you've literally just released, I think only like 2 days ago, it's your latest remix, which is absolutely amazing. We've just listened to it on the show, so we're just actually doing this interview straight after that. So it's the remix of Acapulco by Jason Derulo. So, and it is utterly awesome, Jay. I mean, it is just amazing. It really is. So how on earth did you manage to pull that off? That's just it's like a real coup, that is.
Jason Derulo, one of the biggest pop names. Yeah.
Well, in the world, yeah.
I can't believe they accepted it, in all honesty. So I know basically Atlantic Records reached out for some demos because obviously they're always putting. I think that one of their A&Rs had been listening to my stuff for years, and then obviously the Axwell thing came out, and a lot of people noticed it, and he reached out again for demos. So we sent some stuff over. None of it was right for them, which it's what happens. And my manager Mickey basically just said, any chance of us doing a remix for you? Because Atlantic has obviously got some of the best artists in the world, and thought, give it a go. You never know what will happen. So they actually said, we've got this Jason Derulo track. So I thought, interesting. We sent the track over, and I thought it's going to be difficult to put my style on that. So I, went away and did it. I actually had more vocal in that than is on the final version, and they asked me to take vocal out, which
it's quite sparse, isn't it? The vocal,
working with a major label is you never think they're going to tell you to take vocal out. In my experience, the bigger the artist you work with, the more vocal they want you to put in usually.
Right.
And which is weird because the same thing happened with my remix for Deadmau5 and the Neptunes, like that. They asked to take vocal out. But so anyway, it was just, obviously I've caught the ear of an A&R and they liked what I did, and we basically just hassled them for a remix, and then that was that. So, and then it was really quite quick. I only did that remix, I think like 2 months ago, which is really quick for a turnaround on a release,
Yeah.
Considering I wait.
So for the
actual thing, I waited 1.5 years.
Blimey.
What's the process of someone say, right, here's a track? They supply the stems to you? And how do you go about it?
So basically you'll get sent, it depends on, obviously every person who exports the stems is different. So for this one in particular, you get the vocals as separate, so you get the main vocal, harmony, backgrounds and stuff, all separate. And then you'll get like synths, bass, drums, kick drums, separate from drums, then effects. So all I did was go into that, and then what I try and do with remixing, obviously, is try, rather than completely force something I want on it, I try and think of something that would suit that, if you know what I mean, which is probably why a lot of my stuff, it isn't all, one particular, very set style. It's to just always do what works for the track,
Yeah. Because remixing, sorry, Martin, but remixing is extremely difficult. And again, I started out, when I first started trying to do music, I thought, I'll tell you what, I'll do something easy. I'll do remixing first before I start to do my own stuff. And then worked out very, very quickly how incredibly hard that actually is, because you're actually trying to improve on something which is already brilliant.
It's funny you say that, because that is really how I learned to make music. Because obviously, like you say, a lot of
remixing first, then creating your own stuff. Yeah.
It was more like basically, it was more like I can't sing, unfortunately. So I was always thinking, I want something with some vocals in it, so let's just go and get an a cappella and then just make something out of that.
Yeah.
I really enjoy remixing, and I really enjoy the challenge of doing something that you think, I am never going to be able to do this, finding that one little piece in it that you can stretch into a whole song.
Yeah.
Which the Jason Derulo thing was like, there's a harmony in the background that I've made it go, and that was like one tiny section of two different parts of the vocal that I looped and just all.
Oh, really?
Up,
So when you're doing it, then, do you look for sorry, Martin, I'll let you get your question in a second. I told you I'm terrible at this. But so when you're doing this, do you look for a certain, like a little hook in there or a little key piece of that, and then take that and then use that as the base for the whole thing?
Yeah, basically. What happens with me, I don't know how everyone else works, because obviously I don't know anyone else's brain, but I hear one thing, and then I'll hear one part of the vocal, and then it just kind of, in my mind, I can just hear the whole track. Then it's like the whole track, I know what I'm going to do, and then you just build it. So like with that, it was like, I thought it'd be really cool to just have a dead simple piano chord, just over and over and over and over and over. Very simple tune that's just really driving bass line, Yeah, it just kind of.
So is this fairly exclusive? Are there any other DJs mixing his particular track, or have you got fairly exclusive rights on this?
Oh no, there are. I think there are 2 other remixes.
Okay, so there are others. Yeah.
I heard one of them, and it was really quite close to the original, which I
like about it, because I've listened to. First of all, I listened to your remix, and then I thought, well, okay, I don't know the original, which is obviously a belting pop song, and they're obviously very different, and that's the good thing about it. You almost you almost sort of can't tell that the original from the remix.
Yeah,
and that's what I think is good about it. Yeah.
Well, it was I honestly never thought they would accept it. I just thought, this is so weird that they're never going to get behind this. I think the last check, it's like 100,000 plays in a day, which is pretty.
Really?
That's pretty. Yeah, it's not bad.
That's it's not bad.
We'll hopefully give it a few more.
Oh yeah. I think Jason Derulo gets quite a few on his own.
Yeah, he probably gets a couple, doesn't he? Yeah, he probably does all right.
I thought YouTube comments would be really bad as well, but they haven't been so bad. Because YouTube is you should go to feel bad about yourself,
Well, yeah, exactly. I know there are some interesting people out there, but it is such an awesome song. I don't know anybody can put any negative comments about it. So, what does the future hold now, Jay? So, what have you got that you can tell us about that's on the horizon?
So, let me just think. I've got another release coming on Axwell's label, and it's like exactly a month away. And then after that, I've got a release with. I don't know. Well, I probably could say it. Have you ever heard of Defected? I don't know if you will have done. Defected is like the god of house music. Defected.
Okay.
You will definitely know records that have been on Defected because they are just, basically they're getting the charts.
Right.
And you get something signed with them, which is like a lifelong. The first records I ever bought of house music were Defected records.
Wow.
Okay.
20 years.
Well,
ago.
we'll look them up.
Yeah, you'll know some of their records. Yeah, I've got that coming. I've got another record coming out with Mousetrap, and then after that, I don't know.
Have you got any
hoping? Yeah, I was about to say that. I guess you're hoping to do some festivals next year. So
I hope so. I mean, I'm going to have a gig in Liverpool next month, which would be nice. A club again. I haven't played in a club since early 2020. I played Creamfields over the summer. That was good. It's good to get back out there. And then I'm hoping, I've been working with Tomorrowland quite a bit, so I'm hoping I can get on Tomorrowland next year. We'll see.
Oh, that'd be amazing. That'd be absolutely amazing. Well, Jay Robinson, it's been an absolute pleasure. Really appreciate you spending your what is actually a Saturday afternoon with us. I'm sure you've got much better things to do than to chat to me and Martin. So
making some horrible noises at loud volume.
But it's been amazing. And again, well done with the new track. And I hope it's a fantastic success. I'm sure it will be. So again, if anybody hasn't heard it so far, please do go and look it up. It's Jason Derulo's Acapulco. It's the Jay Robinson remix. I listened to it on, I think it was on Spotify. I listened to it again this morning. And it's awesome. So yeah, please go and dig that out. Jay Robinson, it's been an utter pleasure meeting you and chatting to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thanks, Jay.
Well, how generous of Jay Robinson to give us that interview. That was fantastic and really, genuinely very, very interesting as well. That's a man who's going to go an extremely long way. I feel quite privileged that we managed to have a chat with him because honestly, that guy's going to be a superstar. He's amazing. And if you haven't listened to it, we were just chatting about it just before that we played another song of Jay Robinson's a little while back where he's got a sample of Idris Elba in there. I think it might have been 4 or 5 shows back, which is also amazing. But a really nice guy, genuine down-to-earth fella. Thank you very much for letting us do that. And Martin, you did a great job of getting us in touch with him in the first place.
Yeah, well, actually, I didn't really know who he was. He actually bought one of my old synthesizers, came around one day and I said, got chatting. Yeah. I said, yeah, I'm a DJ. Oh, all right, okay. So they looked him up. So, Christ, yes. Yeah, that's he's got some, the guy is obviously has got association with Dead Mouse.
Yep.
Did anyone listen to the actual original? Because I thought, well, I listened to the original, and it's very different. Obviously the original is a very strong pop song. Yeah. I would say, and obviously this track is obviously more beaty and dancey. So there's elements. It's interesting to know how he put that together. But yeah. It's interesting for people out there. I would listen to this, then go and listen to the original if you haven't heard it, and compare because they are quite different.
Phil, I'm sure you must have put some amazing words around this.
Yeah, but just listen to Martin there. Yeah, I'm going to do that after this show. Listen to 2 versions.
Yeah.
So I put we'll be going loco. That's without a doubt, and not just in Acapulco.
Ooh.
Despite the insistence of the guy on the mic. You can club loco anywhere to this banger.
Hey, you see? Yeah. You always rely on you, Phil, to put some quality words and bring the show back up to the standard that it really should be.
I think he's going to demand a pay rise soon, isn't he?
I think, to be honest with you, Martin, out of the three of us, the only one who deserves to be on here, to be quite frank with you. It's better than my previous job, because my previous job used to be calling in the little paddle boats off the little, that little thing in Aries Park in Colwyn Bay where the little boats go out. You have to call them back in again. So I used to be on that job, calling them in. So one day I was there saying, number 61, your time's up, you need to come in. And then the bloke leaned over to me and he said, we haven't got a 61. All right. Number 19, are you in trouble? He's upside down. You see, he's upside down, and the number's upside down. He looks like 61.
Yeah. Get it now, yeah.
It's not quite the same when you've got to explain every single joke, is it?
Yeah.
Conjunctivitis, that's a sight for sore eyes.
I'm just pretending I've frozen. I was at sea the other day, and there was loads of meat everywhere. It was a bit choppy. Right, come on, let's move on. So we've got... that was amazing from Jay Robinson. No, thank you very much.
I could hear Dr. Tenty writing a song about that joke.
Exactly. You'll have that. You'll have that thing around your ankle again shortly, for Martin, if you're not careful. You've only just got that tag off. Right, we really ought to listen to some music, I suppose. Right, this is the last song of the evening. This is the last song of the evening. This is an absolute belter, a proper bookender. Here we go. This is Infected Mushroom. You've had one of those, Phil. Flamingo. that was Infected Mushroom Flamingo. What a piece of music. What a bass line, percussion, great song from Israel. All the way from Israel, and the stereo spread on that was amazing as well, because I've reset my room to get my speakers further apart so I can properly hear the stereo. But the stereo spread on that was just superb. It was amazing. What a piece of music, Martin!
I wrote down. It's just an electronic dance symphony. It's just, they've thrown the kitchen sink at this piece of music. I mean, I've listened to. They've been around for about 20 years plus. And these guys are just masters at this psychedelic trance genre, or dream trance, or whatever you want to call it. They're just masters at it. They're fantastic.
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, it's just a superb piece of music, and it was a mixture of pieces as it went through as well. There was about 4 minutes 50 because it was a big piece of music. About 4 minutes 50. There's like a hang on
9 minutes long.
Up. Here we go. And then at 7 minutes, it was back to it, but with a real twist on the whole thing. It was just like an evolving piece of music, wasn't it, Phil?
Oh, yeah. Well, I'm a massive Magic Mushroom fan.
Yes. We've heard that.
I'm sure you are.
Yeah. Infected Mushroom fan. I've tried to emulate them. It's just impossible. You just need all day. Because it's not just it's their selection of sounds. It's their musicality, their understanding of, how music is put together and everything. It's fantastic on so many different levels. But I've written, "Nothing's as it seems," said the wizard as he ventured out of the smoky club and stomped up the cobbled street, thronged with human wireworms and other creatures of the night. Because they've got that sinistery.
You're getting ready for Halloween there.
It could have been an Halloween. So a lot of their stuff could be Halloweeny stuff. But but anyway, what I was going to say was a friend of mine was really into Infected Mushroom, and he's got a really massive nose. He was the only bloke I knew who could smoke in the shower without getting the end of his fag wet. Not only that, he used to have a part-time job as a cooker-hood in McDonald's. When God was giving out noses, he thought he had roses and asked for a big red one.
Not for noses, thought he said hoses and asked for a long one. Yeah, it was the same fella. Dear me. Do you know what? First time I met my wife's parents, they cooked me a roast dinner. My wife's mother said, "Would you like any potatoes?" And I said, "I'll just have the one." And she said, "There's no need to be polite." I said, "All right, I'll just have the one, you fat cow." Anyway, let's move on quick.
Outrageous.
It is outrageous. That's fattest. You can't say that, actually.
Fat cow.
I got home and the phone was ringing. I picked it up and said, "Who's speaking, please?" And the voice said, "You are."
You see, that's the sort of joke you shouldn't do. Now, that's offended everybody, Martin. Just purely on the level that it's
what you mean? Not even the gorilla one in the zoo.
Oh yeah, that's fair enough. Yeah, that is a fair point. What a night of music, jocular entertainment, and jokes.
I just want to say about Infected Mushroom.
Right, back to the songs. Yeah,
back to the songs. Yeah, well, these guys obviously they write stonking pieces of music, but not only that, they create their own VST plugins, and that's how.
Oh really?
That's that. Yeah, such plugins as Manipulator, Gatekeeper, and the one called I Wish, which I wish I've got. I haven't got yet. It's a great sort of glitchy sort of plugin. I hope to get that's on my wish list. But yeah, and you can hear so basically what they're doing, they're making these plugins and then they reuse them in their own tracks as well. Why not? But yeah, so not only have they got this outlet for creating this fantastic psytrance sort of music, but they also have as other sideline of creating software.
That's amazing. That's a bit like our friend Dominic Houken, who does this very similar thing.
A bit like Dominic. Yeah, sure.
Versus VSTs and all the rest of it. What an amazing evening of music we've had there. We've had music, we've had we've had jokes. Some of them have just been words that have been pretending to be jokes, and we've just laughed anyway. But what a thoroughly entertaining evening we three have had, if nobody else has. So let's just look at
Yeah.
it that way. You know, we've had a nice time. That's the main
we
thing,
have,
boys,
yeah.
isn't it?
Yeah.
We've had a nice time.
Yeah, the chuckle muscles have certainly been working hard tonight.
They certainly have.
Yeah.
Exactly, the Chuckle Brothers. Chuckle Triplets have been working hard tonight, I think.
What?
As well. The Chuckle Triplets. Indeed. Right, so a quick rundown of what we've been listening to tonight. I usually try and do these quickly, but some of the names are quite difficult tonight, so we'll see how we go. We started off with Autechre, theme of Sudden Roundabout. There's no A in there. That was a fantastic piece of music. Those guys, it was Rob Brown and Sean Booth from Rochdale, that was. And then we went on to Timekode, which was Deni from Timekode, and Never Understand Women. Who can?
Never,
it was a really,
it's never understood women, isn't it?
Is
Never
it?
understood women.
It is either way. Nobody can understand, but it is Never Understood Women. You're quite right. And that was it was a great piece of music. It sounded a bit like something Phil might have made. Then we had Drusnoise, Kisses from the Past, and that was amazing. Really good thick kick inside that as well. So that's something I felt I wish I could have made. Then we had Gazz Collins, Defunked. That was a more gentle piece actually, which we weren't expecting to be gentle from the name that came in, but a beautiful, beautiful piece of music. They moved on to Matt Watkins with his Close Encounter. And then Phil told us all about his close encounter in that field, which we've edited out, luckily, because it's actually he's still got a restraining order about that. And then we moved on to Digital Man with Pi, which is just amazing. That had that sort of xylophony lead in it and all the rest of it. It was just amazing. That and that kind of Jean-Michel Jarre feel about the whole thing. Then we had Harold Budd, Sandtreader, beautiful, gentle soundscape. Then we moved on to Stopyral, Beyond Mariana, which that heartbeat throughout, and it felt like it was pulsing through the whole of your body. Amazing piece of music again. Then we had Tentacles, Testicles, Wallet and Watch. We had the amazing Dr. Tentacles with 1,000-pound gorilla attack. We're hoping to have the amazing Dr. Tentacles on the show very shortly. Fingers crossed if he will join us. If we could have him on for the Halloween show, that would be even more amazing. We'll see what happens. I don't know. Then we had Martin's Monster. It was Martin's fantastic partner. You're punching way above your weight, by the way, Martin, with Marianne. So it's Marianne Holland, the cage of everyone. The lovely Marianne Holland with her fantastic voice and amazing, really, the way she's put that whole piece of music together is astonishing. That's a proper one-person band that she's got going on there. It's amazing. And then we had our good friend Jay Robinson, which was remixing the Jason Derulo song Acapulco. I believe that's only just been released as well. That was an official remix of that song. Jay's on from Old Colwyn, and we had a chat with Jay as well, which was fantastic to hear. And thank you so much, Jay, for letting us do that. It was really a pleasure to speak with you. Then we had Infected Mushroom, not Phil's feet, Flamingo, which, again, amazing piece of music. What a way to the end of the show from Israel. Martin, as always, a fantastic, eclectic, but superbly put together and bookended selection of musical talent you've put together there for us this evening.
Knock, knock. Who's there? Grandpa. Oh, shit. Stop the funeral.
I thought it was going to be knock, knock. Who's there? It's Martin with his joke book. Don't tell him we're in. I thought that might be it. Anyway, Phil, it's been a pleasure as always. Your wonderful poetic words that you put around everything to try and ease us all down. Your knowledge of the music industry, as always, is absolutely welcome. So thank you so much. Have you got a joke to end the evening off with, Phil?
No.
It's fair enough.
That's funny. That's funny.
It's a fair point. Well,
it's all joked out.
It's fair enough. I can understand it. I can still understand that fully. In that case, you need to give us a big goodbye, Phil.
Okay. Time to say goodbye.
Now that
my glass is just broken.
That is going to be tough to beat. That's a musical talent there. Look at that. It's amazing you weren't on the West End, Phil.
Yeah. Sarah Dullen, I was known as from the stage.
Yeah.
Not Sarah Dull woman. Not.
I'm not even going to say goodbye. I can't beat that.
Oh, well, I don't know you. You can't beat that. I'll just leave you with this. My next door neighbour worships exhaust pipes. He's a Catholic converter. Anyway, Good night, everybody. Thank you so much for joining us. We'll see you again soon without the bad jokes. Bye.
Yeah, bye.
PULS8RADIO.